safe streets, vibrant neighborhoods, successful business and commerce. These are things that make a healthy community. We are a diverse community, rural, suburban, urban, a multitude of languages and ethnicities, ages and experiences. We are a collaborative community. Public-private partnerships make us a model community that others want to follow. It is what makes us unique. It is what makes us strong. The employees of Kent County reflect our diversity and seek to serve our communities.
People in this county, in this area, we wrap our arms around each other. We come together to collaborate, to solve problems. We're all working for the good of the whole. And I think that's wonderful. And you can see it. You can see it as you drive around Kent County.
Our impact starts the day a baby is born and a birth certificate is issued, to protecting children from deadly diseases through vaccination, to the public safety and justice provided by law enforcement and the courts, to offering veterans services and caring for the elderly. Every day we work to keep our communities robust.
I think if you are somebody who's interested in serving your community, in building a strong knowledge base and a good group of people to work with, then the county is one of your best employment opportunities out there. It's been completely rewarding in every way I could possibly explain for 26 years, and I feel like I grow every single day still today.
Leading these dedicated employees, our 19-member Board of Commissioners and our County Administrator Controller, along with our elected officials and appointed department directors, placing emphasis on civic involvement, quality housing, vibrant neighborhoods, and strong, solid infrastructure to allow businesses to thrive. Professional, dedicated, collaborative, and innovative.
Behind the scenes, collaboration between foundations, charitable organizations, nonprofits, for-profit businesses, public sector demonstrated through the county, the city of Grand Rapids, the townships, all the cities and the villages in our area. If we don't come together, then we will not have the strength that we have today, and I only hope to build upon that.
Our aim is to make our communities the best they can be. We are involved in exciting development projects, sustainable recycling programs, and creative progressive prevention programming. We partner with elected officials, impacting policy ideas that become great achievements. We seek opportunities to reach out into the community and offer our services to help our residents make Kent County thrive.
Our relationship is solid, both from a staff standpoint at the county level as well as the Board of Commissioners. And they understand what we do and the benefits that we can do for the community, and vice versa. We couldn't do what we do without the help of Kent County.
While most of us are busy running our lives, Kent County's elected officials, administrator controller, and over 1,600 employees are serving the communities where we live our lives, so we can all have a place we are proud to call home. Kent County, its life well run.
With it, so we'll see. All right.
Alrighty, huh?
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, May 15th. It is 8:30. Welcome to the Finance and Physical Resources Committee. I'd like to welcome my fellow commissioners, staff, guests in the audience. Thank you so much for taking your time to come today. With that, we will start with public comment. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the Finance and Physical Resources Committee this morning? Okay, seeing none, I will close public comment, and that will bring us to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, moved and supported. Anything have to be pulled? Questions, comments, or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The consent agenda passes. That moves us to the Administrator's Office, our 2019 budget process guidelines. Wayman?
Yes, this is a request to approve the following list of guidelines to be used in the preparation of the 2019 county budget. The County Administrator Controller is directed to present a general fund budget for the 2019 fiscal year that is structurally balanced and to establish the appropriate budget targets to achieve the 2020 vision affirmed by the Board on May 13, 2010. Unless properly justified, no-growth budgets will be used for contractual and commodities, with the exception of departmental budgets that receive state or federal funding or contractual services that charge based on external causes and not internal spending controls. Zero-based budgeting will be utilized for all line items so that each department should assume that accounts rolls back to zero at year end, and they will need to be rebuild. They need to rebuild the rationale for all expenditures with that line item. The specific accounts affected include but are not limited to consultants, travel regular and travel conference or other contractual services, training and education, and dues and memberships. The moratorium on new positions requiring a general fund appropriation is instituted for 2014 through 2018 budgets shall be extended for the 2019 budget. If, however, the addition of new positions should result in a reduction in the general fund appropriation for the requesting department or is deemed necessary to achieve board-approved initiatives, consideration may be given to adding the positions. According to the Capital Improvement Program policy, a minimum of 0.2 mils of the general property tax levy will be set aside for capital improvements for the 2019 budget.
Hey, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Hey, is there support? All right, moved and supported. Any questions, comments, and discussion? Yes, Commissioner Mast.
What was your last statement, Lehman? That will be sought for permission to do a millage? No, not a millage, but something from our villages? What was your last point?
This
'Cause I
is
don't have it
regarding
in
the
front of
capital
me here.
improvement program policy.
A minimum,
a
okay,
minimum
it's the
of-
2 point, okay, point
Yeah.
two.
Oh, point two.
That we already.
I had a
Yeah,
question.
okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It says a minimum of 0.20 mils. Last year, what did we do last year? 2.025?
Three.
It's three.
Three.
And we funded all that, right?
Yes.
So I guess, when will we have a recommendation? It says a minimum of 0.20. When will we zero in to have some idea of what we're looking at as our bogey?
Not quite out of the woods
Yeah, okay.
yet.
So that's to be determined?
Yes,
And that'll come back to the
Yes.
board?
yes.
Got it, okay.
I did note on that the CIP call letter just went out on May 4th.
Right.
So that's always
So stay tuned.
part of the process.
Right.
Once they get through the process of looking at the request, CIP, then we'll know what the number is, and they go through their normal routine of determining which items are most important priority items, and
For the last 18 years, we've never had a problem funding our CIP. So, I mean, we've always had projects in waiting.
yeah, that's true.
Wait a minute, who's on the CIP?
Facilities management, of course, fiscal services, parks, sheriffs, who else? IT, yeah. So
Okay.
the directors of those departments, and our budget director and Marvin, come on up, Marvin, you can explain. Okay. Marvin Van Nortwick, our deputy director.
Good morning,
for
Marvin.
Good morning. So we've got representatives from Facilities Management, Al Jano, Sheriff's Department, Randy Bryan, Purchasing, Cal Brinks, Fiscal Services, Steve and myself. Let's see, who did I miss?
I sat in also
And
last
IT.
year for the first time, just to
Roger
get a feel
Sabine
for
from
it.
Parks,
And you'll
sorry.
be sitting in again this year, right?
Probably. I will keep an eye on it a little bit.
I have a follow-up, Madam Chair.
Please.
The criteria has remained the same as far as the cut or getting the recommendations. Do you anticipate that being the same for this year as in past years?
Yes, the process is essentially the same as it's been in recent years.
Okay.
Wayman, can we get a sample, a copy of one of the letters the call
Sure.
letters? I think that
You
would be
bet.
helpful for people on the committee to see that.
See what goes out to the staff.
Yep.
The department directors.
And that
would
has
be
the
great.
scoring on it as well, right?
We can provide you that same information we shared with you last year that gives you an idea of how that's scored and how we go through the process.
Yep.
We'll lift that up again and let you see that as well.
Great. Yes, Commissioner
Is that an
Morgan.
open meeting, Wayman, or?
It's not a It's not a public meeting.
No,
It's a departmental meeting. But if
there's a commissioner that would like to attend just to see the process, is that appropriate or not appropriate, or?
Of course, commissioners can come in and see that anytime they want.
Okay.
But we just like to, the door's always open for you to come and take a look at the
It may be
process.
beneficial for some commissioners, the newer commissioners, to maybe sit through a little bit of that process, or some of the
We
older
just would
commissioners.
like the liberty of continuing the process, if we've done it in the past years, allow the staff to go through our process and then recommend it to you, and then you have your process to debate it once we've proposed it. That's what we would prefer.
So in a nutshell with that, we can come, but I think the plan would be more for observation versus
Absolutely.
input.
Oh, yeah, not
right?
influencing or
Right,
lobbying,
just
to get
observation.
Get an idea of the process.
What
so-
we go through, how in-depth the process is.
Yeah.
So is that what happens on 6/7 and 6/11? Is that those meetings?
Yes, yes.
And where are those held?
Here, I believe they've held them 311, or is it downstairs? Marvin, why don't you explain
Typically,
the
those
process?
are in 2E.
Tui.
I didn't hear that, sorry.
Typically in room 2E, but I'm not sure where they're scheduled exactly.
It's on it's downstairs.
One floor down.
Yeah.
Just,
So, yeah, why don't we add some communication on that when they get the
Okay.
place and the timing on that? Okay, Commissioner Voorhees?
Yeah, I think previously we talked a bit about whether the chair of finance would be on the CIP. Have we thought of that any further?
We
that
talked
have
about that
some-
last year.
Yeah.
We talked about that, and we've talked with the chair of finance last year about that whole idea. And again, we concluded that it would be, continue to be a good idea to keep that process and the responsibility of the staff, and let the finance committee chair, when the CIP is proposed, sit around the back table, look at what's being recommended. That's what we came to agreement on.
So I think at that point, Harold, if there are issues we want to send back, we can. I mean, that's how this works. What they come to us with is recommendations, and that's true for the budget in its entirety. If there's something that the committee or the board has some issues with, and I've seen this done in the time that I've been here, it goes back, and it can get reworked and rediscussed.
And we'll make
So-
sure there's plenty of enough time, in the process for you to have all of it. And your work sessions will then have the opportunity to ask the questions, beat it up. You will have plenty of time to react to what it is that the staff what the staff is proposing.
So,
Yeah, Madam
Yes.
Chair, I just want to be clear, I'm not advocating for, commissioners go in there and run the process, or, it's just more of a information gathering, how that
Right.
process works.
You
type of
need to know
scenario,
that
so.
they spend a lot of time throughout the year. It's not just starting, but they're looking at information throughout the year. I mean, even after the budget is presented to you, last year, they have been thinking about, working on, listening to, identifying, and they will continue to do that. So there's a lot of work that goes into them coming to the conclusion of recommending things for the budget. So it's not a 2-week process. It's a 6 months process that they go through.
Commissioner Melton?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I realize I am no longer considered new, but I'm new enough that, can you tell me what CIP stands for, please?
I'm sorry. Capital Improvement Plan.
Capital Improvement Plan.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Mast?
okay, I'm looking at this timeline and the various bodies that get involved. It looks like that the Finance Committee really only is involved 3 times, and the full board is involved more often. I just wonder if, and I imagine some of those are the times that we meet before
Yes.
our Finance Committee, and the full board is
Yes.
invited.
But again, you will have information in your hands weeks
Yeah, yeah.
in advance of whatever's being proposed. Also, the budget letter that I will propose to you, you'll have that in advance of finalizing the budget, and all the details will be in it. This document here,
Well,
which captures all of the details of what we're proposing, the why, and so forth. All the line items are identified.
well, I appreciate your lead up to all the budgeting issues with a presentation by Matthew about we are not flush in cash. Because
We're not.
everybody hears about it, and I hear it from the city of Kentwood, because of Headley and Proposition A. We're
Yeah,
just
we're
held down.
continuing to fight the state of Michigan, as you know.
So I
Look at the community
appreciate,
mental health.
getting us up to speed on that, so that should all.
Yeah.
15 million gone.
Yeah, if, as you know, Commissioner Morgan spoke of the mental health funding crisis that exists today. I mean, the board will probably get a request in a not-too-distant future to determine how to support resolving that issue. There are many lives that are being impacted by the changes at the state level regarding Medicaid funding, regionalization.
That's not a property tax issue, as this is, as capital improvement plan.
Yeah, but it affects the general fund.
Saying it can be gone rather quickly.
So we will more likely have some early morning meetings, which I think is always good.
Yes.
Yes. In general, what we've done in the past, and I see no reason why not to continue it, where you see our meeting dates on these items, it'll be a 7:30 before finance, is what will happen.
And the entire board will be invited to those.
Right. And we'll hold them in the back. So we have them as a work session, where no decisions are made. It's an informative, an opportunity to
But we-
be informed.
But we hear you loud and clear.
Right, what he said. Okay. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. That brings us to item 4 on our agenda, Community Corrections, authorization to submit a Community Corrections grant application and contract approval. Wayman?
Yes, this is a request to the board to approve the annual Community Corrections Comprehensive Plan and application for funding under PA 511 of 1988, and to authorize the board chair or designee to execute the grant agreement and approve grant extensions and changes within 15% of the original award. Public Act 511 of 1988 provides funding for community corrections advisory boards to administer and operate programs to provide alternatives to incarceration for offenders. The state requires a resolution approving the plan submission from the Board of Commissioners. Recommendations regarding funding for the Court Services Department pretrial programs and cognitive-based treatment groups, the Sheriff Department Correctional Facility, operating while intoxicated, 3, housing, as well as community-based organizations will be finalized following confirmation of funding level and award of funds from the state and will be appropriated at that time. Funding will be provided to the following local programs: Alternative Directions, Court Services, CBT Services, Homeward Bound, Burgess, Psychological Services.
Good Dutch name.
Good, yes, you said it
Like
well.
Morgan.
Arbor Circle, Catholic Charities, Jail-Based GED Services, Alternative Directions, Women's Resource Center, FOC, and the 61st District Court. The anticipated grant period is October 2018 to September 30th, 2019. It is expected that the grant will be renewable.
So moved.
Okay, moved. Is there support? Okay, moved and supported. Questions, comments, and discussion? All right, seeing, oh, yes, Commissioner Hennessy.
Is this in any way different from the application of the prior year? Are there any differences in
Andy,
priorities, funding, programs?
did you get that question, Andy?
Yes. Sorry, I'm limping. I ran the
Why don't you announce who you
25K. My name's Andy Verheek. I'm one of the planners with the Community Corrections Office. We do have several different items in the application this year. We are requesting funding for approximately 3 different programs. We received applications from a variety of different agencies in the community, and our board voted to apply for 3 additional programs: Domestic Violence Third Program through Catholic Charities, Alternative Directions doing essentially a workforce development program, and then also Arbor Circle in partnership with Alternative Directions providing an intensive outpatient program at their probation residential center. So all the other programming that we've funded in the previous years, including Burgess Psychological Services, Homeward Bound, programming at Catholic Charities, Arbor Circle, those are all the same as in previous years.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Is the amount of the general fund planned appropriation the same as in prior years?
I believe it's a slight increase from previous years for the county's contribution. So I think I'm not exactly sure.
Hi, I'm Nicole Fumarolo, Circuit Court Finance Director. The amount did increase slightly. I think it was maybe, let me see real quick, by about $10,000 over last year, and it's just due to salary increases for the most part, administrative expenses. Just the regular increase.
Any other comments, questions, or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. That will bring us to item number 5 this morning from the Drain Commissioner. We have a general fund advance to the Drain Commission revolving fund. Go ahead, Wayman.
Yes, this is a request to the Commissioners to authorize an advance of up to $352,437 from the general fund to the Drain Commission revolving fund for the Johnson and Godfrey County Drain Project, and to authorize the board chair or the county administrator controller to sign all related documents. The Drain Commissioner intends to expend $372,000 to design and construct improvements to the Johnson and Godfrey County Drain. Costs incurred for this project will be specially assessed at large to the Baum Township, $37,200, to the property owners, $315,237 of the district who benefit from said improvements, and because of roads, Kent County, $10,075, and MDOT, $9,488, both of which will pay in lump sum when billed. For previous projects of this nature, the Drain Commissioner has solicited quotations from interested financial institutions and others to finance the cash flow requirements pending receipt of special assessment installments. Consistent with recent projects, interim financing for this project will be provided from a general fund cash advance and will eliminate the need to incur financial costs. The resolution authorizes the advance of up to $352,437 from the unassigned general fund balance, fund balance, with repayment terms to include interest on the outstanding balance at a rate of 2.12% annually, with all monies included accrued interest to be paid in approximately equal annual installments over a 7-year period commencing on June 1, 2019. Corporate Counsel has reviewed and approved the agreement as to form.
Is there a motion to approve? Is there support? Moved and supported. And questions, comments, and discussion, and we'll start with Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question. The 2.12%, is that prime? Is that the prime rate? Where did we get the interest rate of 2.12%? Is that the prime? And come on up, Steve.
Somehow I knew I'd get asked this question. The policy we adopted a number of years ago says that the rate will be set at the county's current funds rate that we're earning on our rate and the 10-year Treasury note added together, divided in half, and at the present time, that would be 2.12.
Great. The 7-year amortization of this note, where did you get the 7 years?
Excuse me?
The 7-year amortization of the
Yeah.
note?
What about it?
Why 7?
Why 7? That's what the Drain Commissioners asked for, spreading that cost to people he will be assessing.
Okay, thanks.
Okay?
Yep.
Hey, I'd like to hear from the Drain Commissioner, so Ken, while you're here,
well,
if
we
you don't
got an
mind
hour or
coming
what?
on up. We've got a few extra minutes for Ken.
I'm
So-
a burned-out politician, so it's short today.
Ken, if you wouldn't mind just sharing some of the conversations you've had with the folks at Bound and they're all in agreement with this plan?
Yeah, the drain in particular we're talking about is all underground that goes to the fields, the farmers' fields. It's clay tile. It's about 100 years old, and all our fields that are tiled this way are failing. So this is the first big one, but we have many more to come. And what's happening is their equipment got bigger and heavier. It's crushing the tile. It's creating big sinkholes in their fields, and when they go out in the fall to combine, they're burying their combines in these big holes. And if you look at the assessment roll, you'll notice on there Swiss Lane Farms comes up many times. They're probably about 40 to 50% of the total assessed property, and that's Fred Ersch Farm, Swiss Lane. And he's the one that did petition me to move forward with this project, and he got the 5 signatures from his neighboring farmers. So he's got the biggest chunk of this cost, and they are just tired of having their equipment getting buried in their fields. So, and it is a problem, and that's what our job is to make sure these drains are flowing properly. And right now, that one is not. So it's been a long time coming. They finally got sick and tired of dealing with it, and they're willing to spend the money to move this forward. So we had a public hearing, a board determination. We had unanimous support, no opposition in any of the process on this deal. It just takes a long time to get to this point.
See, Ken did have things to share. Yes,
Absolutely.
Commissioner Mast.
So how are you going to correct it? Put a thicker
Well,
one, a bigger one, or deeper?
we're running concrete pipe. It's all going to be replaced with concrete pipe. And then we'll have manholes also, so that we have sections where we can get in and clean these things. We also have a problem when they do plug up, there's no way to get access to them. So this should be good for another 100 years plus. I won't in my time be working on this drain again. That I'll promise.
Okay, Commissioner Antor?
Monica, do any of these failing drains create what we would call wetlands that you have to deal with DEQ now on? Some of these were former wetlands that have been tiled. They're not-
No, this all falls under the drain code, under the section of maintenance, on how the DEQ has interpreted that. So we don't need any permitting. We're just strictly maintaining what's already there. We're not changing anything.
We had a situation where by Camp Lake, a farmer's field, that they were replacing the drains. They needed a special permit, I think, from the.
That's because we didn't do it.
Right, I understand that.
That's the difference. We have all the right permit, authorizations and the right licensing with the DEQ that we have to renew every year. That allows us to go in and do this without their permitting. But we renew that every year, and we stay good with the DEQ, so we're in good shape. We won't be getting sued.
Thank you.
You've seen that article.
I was going to ask you about that.
No,
Commissioner Breedy.
we won't.
Thank you, Chair. You mentioned that there's several other fields or, similar situations. What's your timeline on replacing them? How are you going to go about and analyze what needs to be replaced and when?
We'll be dealing with those per request of the farmers.
So by request?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, we got enough other work to do than to have to take that on, and if we're gonna have to fight them for it, at this point, it's not. If no one is being harmed by it, it's just strictly the farmer's inconvenience, we're not gonna push it. When they get sick and tired of being stuck and everything, and then we'll, per the request.
Commissioner Melton?
Pretty much answered mine. Just I'm wondering how do you have a set schedule when you go out and you check this, but you pretty much said it's just when
These types of repairs, they are. Now, if there's a real public safety problem, we're going to be very proactive. We have a couple drains, and they're taking a lot of energy that are safety hazards, and we're working through the process of getting those. But those are very expensive ones. It makes this one look like peanuts. So.
Ken, making sure I'm saying this right, does this show that Bound Township themselves are contributing $37,200?
Correct. And Randy Wilcox, the supervisor, we've worked with him through this all the way, so he knows, he knew, so he knows where to put his budget. There's no surprises in that community. We're in good standing, and he's pushing me to do a few more drains out there that are in bad need of maintenance. But I told him between that one and another one that we committed to this year, let's see where the money falls and where his budget is. So we're working close. I work close with the townships to make sure we don't exceed what they can comfortably handle in their budget.
Excellent.
It's a team effort.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else? Thank you very much, Ken.
You bet.
With that, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion passes. That brings us to Commissioner Miscellaneous this morning. Do we have for Commissioner Miscellaneous? Yes, Commissioner Morgan.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. I attended the Kent County Township Supervisors meeting yesterday. There seems to be some concern about some pending legislation on assessing reform that they're very concerned about. It hasn't been dropped yet, but they're moving forward to invite the state legislators in to discuss this pending legislation, and we'll be inviting our county administrator too. So stay tuned.
Okay. Commissioner Melton?
Chair, I have a couple things. Wyoming and Kentwood, anyone who is serving through either the mayor or county, state, federal, they get together every month on the second Monday. And it's called Government Matters. And the reason I mention this is because one of the topics yesterday that was spent a lot of time on was our community health. And Senator McGregor, am I correct, Harold? He actually, so someone local is one of the chairs of the mental health as far as appropriating funds and all of these things, and I know that was something they were talking about at the legislative meeting. They were talking about the legislative meeting, so I found that to be at least it's more local. He's very, very aware and involved in Arbor Circle. I mean, he mentioned all the ones actually we were just reading about now, and so obviously this is something that we're going to start to hear more and more out of Lansing. I think the collaboration is going to have to start to happen. So I found that to be very reassuring and very good news. The other question I have is when we vote on the consent agenda, both here and at our regular meetings, anyone who is here can see it, but we're also taped. Is that written, so if you go to listen, do people know what the consent agenda is that we're voting on?
They have the ability to see the agendas.
Okay.
So those are printed and are on our website.
I've just noticed, we all say aye, and we know what we're saying aye for, but someone listening and not here might not understand what that is. And then very quickly, the third thing is one of the questions asked of commissioners were about our new administrator, and it was very interesting, the response, I must say. I don't think I've been just about anywhere to any of the meetings or fundraisers or whatever where I have not run into not just one but several persons. Oh, you are so lucky. Wayman is just, he's so involved, he's so this, he's so that. And but, there's something that's just so...
I didn't know where she was going.
There you go.
To know that the community is so well aware of who our new administrator is. It's very, very wonderful. Thank you, Wendy.
Appreciate that.
All right, the only thing that I will add is when it comes to the consent agenda, those are items that are generally very routine, but we give each commissioner an opportunity to pull anything that needs further discussion or questions. So that's how that is generally put together. It's not anything that we have items in there that tend to need additional vetting out. So that is how our consent agenda has always been approached. And there have been times where there have been items pulled that want more discussion, and we do that.
And our
So,
purchasing managers here, Cal Brinks, so if there are items that come up that you would like to have further discussions on, related to purchasing or from a fiscal services department, any department, we should be able to answer those.
okay, yes, Emily?
Yeah, I just have one thing to add. Next week, Tuesday, after the legislative meeting, the millage subcommittee is meeting over, usually we meet in the conference room. And it would just be really important, I think, to have other commissioners there to hear the discussion. And we're talking about the possible early childhood millage. And, you know, we've gotten some questions about it. And it would just be good for, you know, people to be informed. And we do plan on holding some work sessions down the road. But I'd like to, you know, hear from my colleagues, too, about their thoughts. So it's next week, Tuesday, following the LHR meeting.
Here?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Antor.
Thank you, Chair. Just a reminder that Commissioner Steck's mother's funeral is going to be this afternoon at 1 o'clock at Fuller Street, CRC, I believe. Not sure about the address, so.
Thanks. Anyone else? All right, with that, we will adjourn. Our next meeting date is Tuesday, June 5th at 8:30.
I am Kent County. I am Kent County.
I am Kent County.
We are 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 Kent County.
Bayard, Kent County. Ami, Kent County.
Somos, Kent County.
Mast, Kent County.
We are Kent County.
We are Kent County.
We are Kent County. Oh yeah.